welcome. My name is Jenny. I am super excited to be putting together this video today just to teach you a little bit about essential oils, how you use them, what they are, why you would use them, things along those lines. So just to give you a little bit of an insight as if you were to come to one of my classes. I know for many of you have been unable to attend, or perhaps you're using the oils and aren't 100% sure when or how to use them. So I want to go over all of that today and maybe even refresh some of your memories. A little bit of background about myself before I get started. I am an esthetician. I'm also a Reiki master, so I do energy healing, and I'm also a yoga instructor. I do run my own studio where I offer all of these services under one roof. And recently I've been able to add my essential oils to my studio, which I've been very happy about, because I actually learned about essential oils for the first time back in 2003 when I actually did take my aesthetic course. We had a whole unit talking about the different healing properties of the oils for whether it be mental health or spiritual or physical body health. Many of you may be aware that essential oils smell nice, so for myself, to give you an idea, I actually have no sense of smell, but just learning about what these guys can do and how to use them and all that kind of fun stuff, I've been attracted to the oils ever since. The key thing for me is I haven't really ever found a line that I really believed in due to purity and quality and things along those lines. So I've been super excited to have learned a little bit more about doTERRA over the recent, I guess, half a year or so. And I'm super excited to be sharing these with you today. So I am going to be talking about oils, and I am going to clarify that I'm speaking specifically to the doTERRA oils, because there are some of the things I'm going to mention today that aren't a normal standard for across the board. Okay, so I will point those things out when I come to them. I just want to be clear on that kind of fun stuff. To give you an idea in regards to essential oils, it's something that has been used for thousands of years. So if you look back to Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine, something that they've been using since 2700 BC. I was even taught 4500 BC in school, so not really sure, but anyway, it's been a long time, thousands of years. I like to kind of look at something like essential oils, Eastern world coming to the Western world, and compare it to like yoga or even Reiki. Reason being, if you consider that all of those things, again, are things that have been practiced for thousands of years, but for whatever reason took a while to get here to the Western world, and we're really starting to see, you know, yoga's been blowing up on the scene over the last 10-15 years, and Reiki as well has started to become something that people are becoming more aware of, which is awesome. So definitely starting to see this awakening, and I personally believe that essential oils are the next thing that is the Eastern world coming to the Western world, that we're going to start to marry the two different types of healthcare and wellness care that we are now familiar with. Obviously, for the most part, we've all been programmed to go to traditional medicine as well as doctors and things like that whenever things come up. The essential oils would be something that can help to support you on a daily basis and also assist with any regular medical treatment that you might be going underneath. So this isn't necessarily to say this gets rid of the medical world, it's to say that it complements and can work with. Okay, so just a little bit of pieces of information about essential oils. They basically are what actually defends the plant. It also helps to attract, to pollinate the plants, and so it's basically the plant's defense system. We can extract the oil from the plant, and we can personally use it ourselves. What's great is, because the oils have the similar chemical footprint than we do, our bodies know exactly what to do with it when we use it. Okay, so our essential oils can actually speak to us on a cellular level. At the end of the day, everything comes down to a cellular level, regardless if it's a skin cell or a liver cell or what have you. It all comes down to the work of the cells. I personally have extra beliefs in regards to metaphysics and the mind-body connection, so pieces of that do resonate for me and still work with and align with the knowledge that I have for essential oils. So that's extra pieces that, if you want to learn more about, feel free to give me a shout. I'm going to try to keep this as condensed as possible so that you can actually watch it. So yeah, we basically extract the oils from the plants through either a low steam distillation or cold press for the citrus oils. And to give you an idea with some of these oils, they're about 50 to 70 times more potent than herbs, and our essential oils are very highly concentrated. So for example, 1 drop of a peppermint oil can be equal to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So that's a lot. Very, very highly concentrated in 1 drop. If you even think about 1 drop, there's about 40 million trillion molecules in 1 drop of an essential oil. So they're very, very powerful. I believe that science is now covering about over 400 different chemical constituents that they find in the oils. And what I find is super awesome to even back that I feel essential oils are coming up here in the Western world is, if you look at the studies that they're doing currently, there's a lot of studies in regards to frankincense, what that can do for healing with cancer cells, as well as dementia and Alzheimer's, things along those lines. But if you look at the number of studies that have actually been done this year alone, we're only halfway through the year, we already have done the same amount of studies that we did last year, and you're seeing a very steady incline, powerful incline on these studies of what they're doing with the oils to see exactly how they work for us and what they're doing for us. At the end of the day, again, our body knows how to heal itself, and the essential oils are just reminding your body how to function properly. So the thing is, when we're introducing accidentally chemicals and toxins, things along those lines, whether that be in our skincare products, hair care products, cleaning products, laundry detergents, whatever's out there, our body is being introduced to these different chemicals and toxins, and our body is incredible. It can figure out how to continue to work towards homeostasis or find that natural balance within the body, even though these chemicals have been introduced to it. So what's nice is looking at essential oils, there are so many different usages that you can even start to look at how you can reduce your chemical and toxic load just by replacing some of your chemicals around the house. I can say for myself currently, the only chemical that I probably still have that I haven't been able to replace yet are my dishwasher tabs. And if I really wanted to, I could hand wash with our cleaner concentrate. So just to give you an idea, it's not just about the oils. There are so many things that you can do with them that are even just your regular daily care. So to give you some idea of how to use an essential oil, one of the main ways is, of course, aromatically. So being able to just smell them. I've got my diffuser. I think you can kind of see it in the corner of the camera here. I've got my diffuser going on, and I have a blend in there, our Citrus Bliss blend, which is our invigorating blend. Very uplifting. And you can do tons of things with diffuser. Diffusers are awesome in the way that the oils actually attach themselves to the air particles and then float around the air. So it can help to kill off pathogens in the air, which will help to boost immunity all year long. You can use it for clearing out airways. Like I know for myself, when I first started with these particular oils, one of the first ones that I diffused was our respiratory blend, which helps me. I deal with allergies, and I can side note say that my allergies have been incredible. I normally walk around with Kleenex in my pockets all the time, and that is certainly not the case anymore. So I've definitely noticed lots of different things for myself personally. But when I started using the respiratory blend at nighttime, I found that I was waking up with nice, clear, open airways. And I also noticed that Eric, my husband, actually wasn't snoring as much. So there was a double whammy, lots of extra benefits there. Other ways for using the diffuser, you can actually use it to help curb cravings. So we do have a metabolic blend, which can, when you diffuse it, will help to reduce, it's uplifting as well because it's got the citruses in there, but it will help to curb those cravings that you have. So you can definitely use it for even weight management. Concentration, mood adjustment. There's a great trick for memory recall for those that maybe are still doing testing or exams or what have you. If you smell an oil, let's say a peppermint, while you're doing your studying or your homework, and then you use that scent when you go to do your test or what have you, it actually helps the memory recall. So that's a cool little trick. Basically, in regards to being able to work with essential oils to choose your mood, our essential oils have an immediate effect on the limbic brain. For those that aren't familiar with the limbic brain, it's actually the primitive part of our brain where our memories and our emotions are stored. So you probably already know that when you smell something, it can take you off to Christmas time or childhood or whatever the case might be. Essential oils have that same kind of effect on us. It can trigger a memory or what have you. But what's neat about smelling an essential oil is regardless before you actually even register, so before the brain has registered you've smelt something, you're already having an immediate reaction and your physiology is starting to change. So that's before you've even registered the smell. So again, as I mentioned earlier, I have no sense of smell, but even though I have no sense of smell, I'm still able to get the benefits of inhaling an essential oil and having those immediate effects on mood. So whether you're dealing with anxiety, depression, if you're just not motivated, anything along those lines, we have oils that you can literally smell or diffuse that will help to instantly change your mood. I use them all the time at my studio for people that might come in feeling a little bit off or not motivated, or maybe they're feeling a little unbalanced. We just get those oils, we rub them on their feet or get them to smell them, and instantly they're having immediate effects. So lots of great things that you can do in regards to just smelling the oils alone. When it comes to applying them topically, topically can be very intuitive. So basically, if my stomach hurts, I can rub an oil on my tummy. If my knee hurts, I can rub an oil on my knee. Other places that you can do are the bottoms of the feet. Bottoms of the feet are awesome in the way that the pore size is a little bit larger than the rest of the body. So it is the second fastest way to absorb the oil immediately into the bloodstream. Once it's been absorbed into the bloodstream, the essential oils know what to do, and they are received by the cells wherever they're needed. What's extra awesome on the bottoms of the feet, as you might be familiar already, is there's the reflexology points. The reflexology points tie up through meridians to the different parts of our organs. So when we're doing the bottoms of our feet, not only is it absorbing really quickly, but we're also able to work on the different parts of our body using the bottoms of our feet. If you don't know what part of the foot is what organ, it doesn't really matter. Just do your whole foot. You're good. Of course, back of the neck is another place to apply. When you apply just along the back of the neck, kind of where the head meets the neck, that also helps to push the essential oils into the limbic brain, which we discussed earlier. That actually holds on to our memories and our moods. So that's another way to get it to the limbic brain. If you ever have a fever, you can apply essential oils along the spine so for example, peppermint. You could apply along the spine every 2 hours or so to help to bring down the body temperature. So lots of different ways to use it. Even just like if you consider placing it on your wrists or on your neck so that throughout the day you can give yourself a whiff or what have you. You're still getting the benefits of it absorbing into the skin and still being able to smell it when it's on you. So lots of different ways to use it topically, including making your own products. So for myself, I do use quite a few of the doTERRA skincare products. But recently I actually made my own moisturizer, which I was super proud of. I've been doing do-it-yourself workshops, so some of my friends were able to come out and try it themselves. About a month into using this guy. And I'm loving it. I've used all my essential oils. I also mix it with shea butter and then some rosehip oil, and I love it. I've also made myself some blends for skin care, hair care, body care. So lots of different things that you can do with your oils, and basically the carrier oil that I use for both of those is a fractionated coconut oil. What that means is the fat's been removed, so the coconut oil actually stays in a liquid form as opposed to solidifying. So I'm going to go over a way that some of you, if you were to do research, would be like, no, and I can tell you right now, I was taught in school what I'm about to express in regards to taking essential oils internally. Typically, you cannot take essential oils internally, and the reason for that 100% is because you cannot guarantee the purity and the quality of that particular oil. And that can be possible contaminations anywhere from the planting of the seed to the growing of the plant to the harvesting to the extraction to putting it in a bottle. There are so many ways that, unfortunately, essential oils can actually be contaminated, or perhaps you're even working with something that's a little bit of constituent, maybe 20% constituent, and the rest is filler. So essential oils are typically not something that is a suggestion to take internally unless otherwise specified. Okay, so I will tell you that I agree with that. That's what I was taught in school. And this is why I am with the doTERRA line. When I first found out, a client of mine actually was taking this internally, and when she mentioned she was putting this in her water, I was like, no, you cannot put essential oils internally. That's just not, there's no line out there that's allowing you to do that. Sure enough, doTERRA does. And what I can say to this is a couple things about the company. First of all, in regards to how we grow and get our particular plants, we have them growing indigenous from around the world, and we actually have exclusive contracts with these particular places so that we're the only ones that can actually enjoy the oils that come from these top of the line or best conditions, best climate, best nutrition in the soil, all that kind of stuff. So we're definitely getting the best growth when it comes to the plant. In all the processes that it goes through to get it into the bottle, there are 3 different times that we test it, and each time goes to 5 or 6 different steps that we do the testing. And that could be, looking at how the light reflects through the oils, like all different kinds of things like that, just to guarantee that every single oil that we're putting in our bottle is the same quality, same purity, same consistency. So this is the only reason why essential oils, these particular essential oils, can actually be ingested. When I personally take them internally, I like to do a drop under the tongue. Reason for that is it is actually the fastest way to absorb it into the bloodstream. And as well, when I do it under the tongue, it's going right into the blood, so that means I'm not having to digest it, which means my liver is also not having to process it. So that's one way of taking it internally. Sure, not all of them taste awesome, but I always think end result. End result is my motto. Other ways to take it internally, you can absolutely add drops to water and then ingest it through your drink or your shake. You can also even put them in your own veggie cap. Some of them do come in veggie capsules already, but you can actually purchase your own veggie caps and make your own pills and whatnot. So if you prefer to do it in a capsule form, you definitely can do so. Of course, some of these oils you would even use in your cooking, so the different herbs and spices that are natural oils that we use that obviously have their own healing properties as well. So lots of ways to do it in regards to internally. When you're doing it internally, it's able to support every single organ, every single body system, so it's just another nice way of getting it into the body. Again, for me, I love to just get it into the bloodstream, and the oils in the body knows what to do with it after that. So those are some of the main ways that you use. So we've got internally, aromatically, and topically, and then of course environmental and household products. So for example, toothpaste. I've recently started using our toothpaste because it doesn't have fluoride in this guy, and I'm loving it. I use our On Guard laundry detergent, our cleaner concentrate, hand wash, so all of these things that I do on a daily basis. We also have shampoo, conditioner, and all the skincare products as well. So lots of different things to help to just replace some of the chemicals around your house. I want to talk a little bit about how essential oils work with the cell. So in regards to getting sick, so let's say we get a virus. So maybe we have a flu or we have a cold. If you go to the doctor, all the doctor's going to tell you is to go home, rest, drink lots of fluids, all that kind of fun stuff. Maybe the occasional doctor will throw an antibiotic at you, but that won't do anything because viruses actually house themselves within the cell. Bacteria houses itself on the outside of the cell. So antibiotics are great for working on the outside of the cell, but definitely not within the cell. What's amazing about essential oils is they are actually fat soluble as well. So if you have a cold or a flu or something along those lines, you can actually work with these oils, and they're penetrating into the cell wall to help to destroy the virus and not allow it to replicate itself. So you're going to be able to heal a lot faster. In regards to as well dealing with the bacteria, what I can offer, one of the most strongest oils is our oregano oil. This guy is antibacterial and antiviral. So you could use this. It's very, very powerful. There's this great study that this guy Spencer Smith did. I believe that was his name. Simon Spencer, that was it. Like it matters. But anyway, he did this really neat test where they actually showed the effects of amoxicillin, compared amoxicillin, which is an antibiotic, to the effects of oregano on bacteria. And the testing was so incredible that his teacher was actually having him do like not even a full drop size just to see the power of using the oregano in regards to antibiotics. In regards to killing off bacteria. So if you ever get chesty stuff going on or just for a regular immune system boost, you can definitely use the oregano. I actually did one of the doTERRA cleanses recently, which they have a supplement called the GX Assist. It has the oregano, lemongrass, lemon, peppermint, thyme. So it's just a pill that you take for about 10 days to clean out the system. So of course, anytime you're using something like oregano or even just a regular antibiotic, it does kill off all the good and the bad bacteria. So no matter what you do, when you're done, you want to make sure that you're replenishing your flora, the natural good flora in the stomach with a probiotic. So we do have the PB Assist with that, for that. So yeah, that's basically how it helps to work within a cell. So if you understand that if I'm getting sick, you can definitely go to use an essential oil and see how it will work for you. I know for myself, I can say there are times where maybe I've gotten sick, or perhaps even Eric has gotten sick, and we've actually used an essential oil. By the time we wake up in the morning, we're totally great. So it could have definitely escalated to something and we could have been knocked out for a while, but here we are working with the oils, and it heals very, very quickly. Some things about safety and essential oil. So this is very, very important. And if you're with me, I would do a little bit more asking questions so that you could figure this kind of stuff out. So it really stays in your body cellularly. So what I want you to think about is, for example, essential oils. Again, they're very, very powerful. If I were to get an essential oil in my eye, typically we would think, okay, I got to flush this out. And typically we would go for water. That would be the first thing that we would go for. But if you stop and think about what you know about oil and water, they don't mix. So anytime if we're using an essential oil, whether it's a sensitivity on the skin or perhaps we've gotten it in our eye, if we flush it with water, we're just going to intensify the penetration, basically, is what's happening. So if you think about one drop, as I mentioned earlier, has 40 million trillion molecules. Imagine water just dividing all those molecules, and then it's just penetrating super duper fast. So it's just going to intensify. What you would want to do if you have a sensitivity with an oil or get it in your eye is actually flush it out with a carrier oil. Carrier oils can be your fractionated coconut oil, almond oil, grapeseed oil, olive oil, vegetable oil, any kind of oil. That would be what you would actually use to flush the eye. Or again, let's say I put something on my skin and I have a sensitivity, I would put oil over top of it. What that does is it actually slows the penetration down. So it doesn't stop it completely, it just slows it down to make it a little bit more manageable. So just to show you again, these guys are very pure and high quality. So although you might get it in your eye, it's not necessarily a horrible thing, it just doesn't feel so good. So not the greatest thing to do. In regards to using essential oils for the ear, we never want to actually place an essential oil into the ear canal. So a couple options that you can do is one, place it onto a cotton pad and then cotton ball, and then put the cotton ball in the ear, or applying on the back and the side of the ear, even sometimes at the top of the ear, so you can massage for sure. So that's just some ways to actually work with the ear, but you definitely don't want to put it in the ear, so not in the ear and not in the eyes. There are some particular oils that are considered hot oils. So for example, I mentioned oregano already. I don't know if any of you have had experience taking this stuff internally, but it is pretty hot, and if you've ever actually tried to put it on your skin, yeah, that would be very hot as well. So it's something like this you could definitely apply on the skin, but you would want to 100% dilute it first. So that's just something to consider. If you're using hot oils, be aware. Another hot oil would be something like cinnamon. So you want to make sure that you're definitely diluting those before, if you're using them on the skin, you're actually applying them. As well, citrus oils, they can actually cause a little bit of photosensitivity. So for example, a lemon oil is great for the skin, for toning the skin, and also helps to lighten up some pigmentation. But if I were to use that and then go into the sun, it's actually going to make me a little bit more susceptible to burning. Okay, so just a little pieces of information along those lines. Those are your main bits of essential oil safety. In regards to children, definitely these particular oils can be used on children. It's always a nice idea to definitely dilute the oil, again, just to slow the penetration down, and applying to the bottoms of the feet. So they're definitely safe for the kids as well, but I would be applying them diluted. Now there's a term in regards to using essential oils that is referred to as neat. What that means is applying an essential oil directly on the skin. So another piece that I was actually taught in school is that you never apply any oil directly onto the skin except for lavender. Okay, that was what I was taught in school. And some research you may find, they state no oils can be placed on the skin. Personally, for myself so far, I've used every single one of these directly on my skin, except for, of course, the hot oils. And I have had absolutely just awesome results. That's all I'm going to say about that. Awesome results. There's definitely lots of different oils that you can use for body care and things of that nature, but what I want to talk to you about now is personally for myself and what I do on a daily basis, because that's been another thing that has come up. If you have questions about the essential oil stuff that I just went over, again, that was a very brief, condensed little piece of info, but feel free to give me a shout and I can build on that information for you. So flipping over to what I do on a daily basis. Now, I kind of pointed out all of these things that I literally use every single day, and it is laughable, but it's true. Essential oils that I personally take internally every day. Point these guys out. So we have our On Guard. This guy is our protective blend. It's our immunity blend. So you can use this to regularly boost your immunity, or if you get sick, you could go for the On Guard as well. Every day I apply this on the bottoms of my feet, and then later on in the day I take it one drop internally. Our DDR Prime, if there is one oil that I would suggest that you take on a daily basis, it would be this guy. One of the main reasons is because of the blend that's in it. So you've got your frankincense, wild orange, lemongrass, thyme. There's summer savory, clove, which is a very powerful antioxidant, and then niaouli. This particular one is our cellular complex, so again, it's helping to heal everything on a cellular level. And as I discussed a little bit earlier on, we're actually doing a lot more tests on this, so I'll be able to give you more information moving forward. But again, with frankincense, it is one of the best essential oils to use for skin cell, or pardon, for cellular health. So even for that, amazing for anti-aging, but I've also heard different stories. A friend of mine whose brother-in-law, I believe it was, had lung cancer. It was stage 4 at the time, and so he wasn't actually going to receive treatment. So instead what they did was they introduced him to our Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is actually a kit of supplements that we do offer, and he also used the frankincense. And when he went for one of his ultrasounds, they found that he had a ton of dead cancer cells. So he actually did receive treatment from there. I do believe he went into remission. I think at this point it has come back, but I think that was just because he didn't maintain the new lifestyles that he had chosen. So just to show you some of the power behind frankincense and even using the DDR. So that's something, again, every day I apply that on the bottoms of my feet, and then at nighttime with dinner I do a drop under the tongue. Smart and Sassy. This is our metabolic blend. This is one of the first essential oils that I ever did try internally, and I loved it. It was very invigorating. Again, it's got the citrus in there, as well as the peppermint, so it's very, very uplifting. This is a metabolic blend in the way that it can help to detox the fat cells, so great for weight loss, helps to curb cravings, again, because of the citruses. It's very uplifting. I rub this on the bottoms of my feet, and I also take it internally with dinner again. One thing I have also done though is I've made a body blend. So I've actually combined the Smart and Sassy with black pepper and juniper berry with coconut oil, and I apply this to my body every day. What that is doing is helping to support and maintain the health of all of my organs. Is also going to help to reduce any sugars, because, you know, if you know me, I like to eat a bag of cookies every day. Zendocrine is another one I take daily. This one I rub on the bottoms of my feet. I also take it internally, and it is our detox blend. So this one actually helps to support all of my organs, especially the liver. So if you consider the liver is like a main filter and has over 300 functions, it needs all the support it can get. So Zendocrine. And the last one that I take internally daily is the Digest-Zen. This one is my absolute can't live without. I do take this daily. Every time I eat, I do use this. I can say that before I started working with these particular oils, I started to experience acid reflux quite often. Again, my bag of cookies doesn't work so good. But what I started to do was using the Digest-Zen, drop under the tongue. I totally started to find that my digestive tract, everything was working great. So it does support the digestive tract. If I've ever overeaten, it helps to calm the stomach down. And as well if I'm feeling sick. So I've actually had, before doing a do-it-yourself workshop, actually my stomach felt really upset and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I rubbed some Digest-Zen on my tummy and instantly felt the relief and was fine from there. So lots of great things in regards to using the Digest-Zen. One of the main ingredients in there is the peppermint, and even peppermint for those that suffer from irritable bowel syndrome and things like that. There's been some great studies in regards to how that can help to calm the stomach. So that's just one of the many amazing ones. I also actually, just to throw that in there, I rub the Digest-Zen on my tummy before I go to sleep. Without going into great detail, it's to do with the Chinese body clock and how the body regenerates itself and all that kind of awesome stuff. So without going into detail, I use the Digest-Zen to support my digestion, my digestive system, so that my other organs can actually have a better time regenerating. So things like my lungs or my liver or what have you. But again, won't go into detail. If you want to learn more, just give me a shout. So those are ones that I take internally on a daily basis, as well as these supplements here. So Terrazyme, you guys, if you're on my Facebook, you've seen, this is our digestive enzyme. I started using this one recently, and I can say that I noticed immediately how awesome it was. I slowly started to integrate it into my husband's diet, and when we actually ran out of this, because now both of us were using it, I wasn't prepared for that, he actually got really mad at me. So just to give you an idea of how awesome that works. We do also have the Zendocrine complex. So again, the Zendocrine is the detox stuff. It helps with the liver, helps to clean out even the ducts in the liver so that we can cleanse properly. I've just introduced recently, these are women's particular blends here. So we have the Bone Nutrient Complex, which actually has everything that you need. So your vitamin D, your calcium, your magnesium, anything a female needs actually. And then phytoestrogen pills. This helps to boost healthy estrogen, but also get rid of bad estrogen. So I've recently started taking those, and I take those all on a daily basis. And the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So this guy actually has 3 main things in it. It's got the essential fatty acids, which are great for cellular health, mental health, brain health, all that kind of stuff. There is the Food Nutrient Complex. So, you know, even if you do eat well, we know that most of the nutrients are quite depleted from our soil, so we're not even getting the same amount of nutrient value in our food that we're eating these days. So it's always nice to accompany whatever it is that you're eating with something that can support whatever might be missing in your diet. Again, me and my bag of cookies, I've got a lot missing in my diet. And the last one is an energy complex for the cell. What I find really interesting for myself is I find I'm a pretty healthy person. So when I was using these, I definitely noticed that I was feeling great. But what really got me was my husband, for example. I'm going to use him quite a bit because I've really seen the results within him, and they're awesome. For Eric, he actually gets up really early in the morning and he works 7 to 3 as an arborist. So he's working with trees, so a lot of physical work, especially in the summer. It's really, really hot, and so he can get really tired. If I go out at night and I have an event or whatever, I come back home, he's been sleeping the whole time. That's usually the case. We're pretty accustomed to that. He's been using this now for about 2 weeks at this point, because I slowly would introduce one extra thing here just so he wasn't asking too many questions. And what I found really interesting is, although I've been doing the same amount of events and leaving at the same amount of time, I'm coming home and he's awake and he's actually staying up later until like 11 o'clock at night with me. So it just goes to show how much energy he's actually been able to produce just by adding these to his daily regimen. The PB Assist is our probiotic, so I use this on a regular basis, and if you ever do need to use a cleanse, I recently did our particular cleanse, which starts with the GX Assist, which I mentioned earlier on today. So you do the cleanse for about 10 days, and then you reintroduce the probiotics for 15 days after with the PB Assist. I have been absolutely blown away by how great my digestive system seems to be working. Again, without going into too much detail, if you want to learn more, give me a shout. Now, looking at all of these different oils here, I know I said that I use these all on a daily basis, and you're probably thinking, like, how do you do that? Most of these oils I do have combined in my skincare blends, my skincare moisturizer, my hair care serums. I do a hair treatment once a week where I apply my oil to my hair, which can include like my thyme, my rosemary, things that are stimulating the growth, helping to clean the hair. So I even use my lavender, my tea tree oil, all that kind of stuff, all in my hair serum. Skincare, I'm working with the best anti-aging oils, so things like frankincense, myrrh, helichrysum, lavender, tea tree, sandalwood, geranium, it goes on, as you can see. So this is how I can actually fully use all of these oils every single day. I also diffuse every single day, so in regards to diffusing, sometimes I use just a regular uplifting blend. So we have our grounding blend, we have our uplifting, invigorating, calming, all of these different types of blends for different types of moods. So that can help with sleeping. At nighttime, I do like to blend, I use Serenity, which is our calming blend, as well as our Breathe, which is the respiratory blend. I combine the two of those, and since then I've started adding extra ones. So I also add thyme, marjoram, I also have been adding vetiver, patchouli, because Eric loves patchouli, cedarwood, all these things that are actually very calming to help promote a restful sleep. And I have been sleeping amazing. I wake up very refreshed. So again, this is how I can be using all of these essential oils every day, just by diffusing, using it in my different products, and then of course stuff that I do on a daily basis. There are different things that I want to express in regards to skincare. Some of my favorite roll-ons, we've got the HD Clear, so if you deal with acne, but even those that are dealing with eczema, HD Clear is actually pretty amazing at clearing that up for you. And then Immortelle, this was our anti-aging blend. It actually has rose in it, and if you look up information about rose, it actually takes about 60,000 rose petals to make a 5 milliliter bottle, so only this little guy, to make a bottle of rose oil. So it's very, very expensive. So something like Immortelle, which actually has rose in, I love, because again, it's an amazing anti-aging oil. I started using this, I actually got this for free when I first purchased my enrollment kit, and I used it for about 3 weeks. I do have an amazing picture that shows you my 3-week result. One of the biggest things that I point out is I started getting a fine line on my lip that was getting pretty deep, and I was very aware of it. I really didn't like it. So I started using my Immortelle, just applying it along the lip line, under my eyes, across my forehead, and I do my neck and décolleté area, because again, if we forget about this area, this is going to be what gives our age away. So make sure you're taking care of all of it. But after 3 weeks, I noticed an incredible difference. I could also mention I've had a skin rash that I had for years. I went to my doctor who wanted to recommend steroid creams. My naturopath told me to do a candida cleanse, which I did, and it didn't do anything. So I basically just left it because it wasn't really affecting me health-wise. It just was more of an annoyance. When I first got my original enrollment kit, I combined frankincense, because again, it's cellular regeneration. I combined tea tree oil, because again, it's an antiviral, antibacterial oil. And then I combined the lavender, which is calming for the skin as well. So I combined all of those in a coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, and I would apply it over my body wherever this particular skin, whatever it was. And within 3 weeks, completely gone again. I have not dealt with it since, and this was something that literally I had for over 5 years. So just to give you an idea of the power of some of these oils and how you can use them differently. As well, for those that have been with me, in regards to yoga, I teach aerial, and when I first introduced aerial to my studio, I had a ton of classes on the schedule, and I actually ended up really hurting my shoulder to the point where just lifting anything up, I could hardly do it. It was ridiculous. I started receiving Bowen therapy, osteopathy, I had acupressure, I had energy work done, so tons and tons of different things. I even had to cut back on my schedule because I literally couldn't do it. So what I started to do, I started using originally the Deep Blue, which is our soothing blend, and did combine it with the Deep Blue rub. And I have to say that this was awesome in the way that it would soothe me, it would feel really great, but it wasn't actually just making it go away. When I was flipping through one of my user guides, so this guide gives you a little bit of great information if you're looking more into just quick little updates, or looking up different conditions and then looking at the main recommendations. I was accidentally flipped open to frozen shoulder, and I saw that lemongrass is actually amazing when you're dealing with tendons and ligaments. So I actually added lemongrass to my Deep Blue for about a week, and since then my shoulder has never had that issue again. It's been totally fine. I would have continued using this, but I forget about it because I don't really need to use it anymore. So lemongrass is an incredible addition to the soothing blend if you're dealing with ligaments and tendons. So just an extra awesomeness. Lemongrass is great for many things, but that literally healed my shoulder. In regards to my feet, I grew up playing soccer. I have sprained my feet, broken toes, all sorts of wonderful things over the years. And I do have a beginnings of a little bit of a bunion on my right foot. What I have noticed more recently is that my feet are actually getting a little uncomfortable. So I did look it up in my book again, and cypress was the main recommendation for dealing with bunions, or basically any time the bursa sac is being squished. So I started applying this and noticed instant relief. I also applied the lemongrass to the bottoms of my feet to help with the ligaments and the tendons. And most recently, I've started using ginger because it's got this nice warming feeling. I have been using it on my joints. Again, with the aesthetic stuff that I do, there's a lot of small movements that I can do. And over time, that makes my hands really hurt. So I have been using the ginger, and it helps to warm up my hands, makes them feel really good. I don't even notice anymore when I'm having to squeeze someone's finger or toe. So that's been great. Do have a couple extra things, like peppermint is one of my absolute favorite ones. I use this for tons of things, whether it be to cool the body down. I actually like to put this on my armpits every morning before I put on my deodorant. It's nice and cool. Again, it helps to open up our airways, so just giving a little breathe in. Great for helping with an upset stomach as well. So peppermint has like tons and tons of different benefits. I love peppermint. But with that being said, one thing I have kind of talked about but not fully brought to your attention is the Easy Air, or also known as Breathe in the States. This is our respiratory blend. So this is one that I use every single day to help with my breathing and my airways. I didn't realize, I know I have allergies, but I didn't realize just how closed especially my right nostril was. Like I could hardly breathe through it. So when I started adding this to my life, again, waking up in the morning, I had open airwaves. I totally feel amazing with my allergies. I've hardly had any issues. I know I have not taken an antihistamine or anything like that since I've been using these oils, so there could be a correlation or what have you, but Easy Air, totally awesome whether you're getting congestion, sick, allergies, or anything along those lines, just to maintain, to stay away from seasonal threats. That is a lot of information. I think I'm gonna leave it at that, and just point out that if you do have more questions, to give me a shout, because as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. I've kind of briefly touched on stuff that I use every single day, just to give you an idea of what's out there and why you use it and what to do. There are so many different types of ailments that other people are dealing with, whether it be weight loss or concentration, or I know the big one is ADHD these days, so even looking for things that help to calm or create focus. Emotional blends, so whether you're dealing with anxiety, like our balance, which is our grounding blend, peace, which is our reassuring blend. Those are all awesome ones that you could use to actually literally smell right out of the bottle if you need to, and adjust your mood immediately. So many things I haven't really covered, which is why I say I do my best to keep this condensed today. And when you're ready, give me a shout if you have any questions, okay? Something I do want to touch on, that is basically the main information. So if you want to stick around to learn a little bit more about the doTERRA oils, some of you may know that we actually just launched officially in Canada, and I wanted to show you this this is super exciting. There are 20 particular products that have actually been approved in Canada as natural healthcare products, which is very unheard of. I think we are actually the first country that has actually been able to approve these to say that yes, they do help with colds or flus or this or that. Like, we normally can't even speak to ailments, but now we've been approved, and I think it's amazing. A couple of different reference guides if you're looking for extra resources. There's the Essential Life book, which I love. This one gives you great information about all of the oils. Great different information, great pictures as well, so you can see what kind of plant it is. And then there's tons of information about the body systems and all sorts of wicked things, including recipes at the back that you can for making blends as well as for cooking. So lots of great info in this guy. What I like about this one is it's focuses more on conditions, so you can quickly look up a condition and figure out some main oils. This one's nice and light, so I carry this one around with me, whereas I definitely use this as my go-to when it's around me. A book I've been reading recently is The Essential Oils for pregnancy, before and after birth. I know that there's a lot of information out there that talks about contraindications in regards to using essential oils and being pregnant. And again, it's very, very common straight across the board. What I've been finding very interesting is that people have been finding different experiences with the doTERRA oils. They've actually been able to use them throughout. This particular book was actually written by a midwife and talks about all the different oils that you can use for the different stages of your pregnancy. So great information for you. I also wanted to show you, I find this is really funny. I've got a giant box here just to show you. These are just all of the empty bottles that I have actually had since I started, let's say by October was when I first started to really work with these particular oils. So just to give you an idea of how much I've already used, and that's not even including the supplement packets and things like that. And now Eric, he's using them way more. Even recently I went to go use my lavender for one of my burns that I had, and I realized that that bottle was empty. Thankfully I had one stocked, because I always make sure I've got stocked just in case I run out. But apparently he's been using it every day to help with the heat rash that he gets from wearing chainsaw pants all day, and it's been helping. So I gotta wash my stuff now, because now that Eric is using everything, things run out a lot faster, especially shampoos and everything. We run out of everything when he's using stuff. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout. I'm going to take a moment here just to talk a little bit about how to get started with doTERRA. So you've got your basic information. If you want to take another moment just to learn a little bit about how to get started with working with these particular oils, you can definitely purchase any of these oils at a retail cost from myself. I have been approved to carry these oils at my studio, so you can definitely do that. Though I do encourage people to open up their own wholesale account. And the reason for that is it is literally the smartest way to purchase when you're using the oils on a regular basis. First of all, a wholesale account offers you 25% off everything, and you have that account for a whole year. When you want to renew, you basically pay a $25 fee, and they actually send you a peppermint bottle, which is actually 27 something. So you actually get more value for renewing at the end of the year. But to give you an idea, to get started, you either are purchasing a $35 membership, or you set yourself up with one of the enrollment kits. So for myself, I started with what's called the Home Essentials Kit. It came with the diffuser, 6 of our main oils, so frankincense, peppermint, lavender, lemon, tea tree, as well as the oregano, so your main ones that you would want in your first aid kit or medicine cabinet. Then it has the deep blue, which I mentioned is the soothing blend, the digestive blend, the respiratory blend, as well as the immunity blend or the protection blend, which is the On Guard. So all of the things that you would basically need a great startup kit. And that's what I started off with. What was awesome about the enrollment kit, it was discounted beyond wholesale, and I also didn't have to pay that extra $35 membership fee. It was already included. What's extra awesome about doTERRA is that they do have what they call a loyalty rewards program. So it's very similar to a frequent flyer miles if you maybe collect points to be able to travel or what have you. doTERRA does reward their customers for using their oils. The loyalty rewards program usually is something that you would earn 10% back, product credits back on every order that you place. Currently for Canadians, which ends at the end of this month, which is another reason why I really wanted to push this out here, we are earning 30% product credit back, and that is because there has been the exchange rate. Of course, now we're actually in Canada, so we do have Canadian prices, but before, when we didn't, they wanted to support the fact that we were having to pay extra, and so they were giving us back extra. For myself, since I've started, I have been earning 30% product credit back, plus shipping credit back with every single one of my orders. So thankfully, I showed you how many oils I've gone through. Thankfully, a lot of those I've actually been able to get for free, but because I've been able to accumulate those points. I've also earned free product credits, free products of the month, because there's extra things along those lines. And then, of course, depending on your order size, earning a lot of free products as well. So lots of great reasons as to why setting yourself up for a wholesale account is just the smarter way to do it. Again, if you want to talk to me about this and you have questions, feel free to let me know, because I do feel this is an absolutely incredible deal. I believe so much in what these oils can do that if anyone's going to use them, whether you already are signed up, if you're not even set up for your loyalty rewards program, it's just something that I suggest doing, because if you can see, I literally use these every single day. I personally feel like I need to order at least twice a month, and I'm still running out of things. So I personally believe that when you really know what you're doing with the oils and start to see the results, you will be using them on a regular basis, and being on the loyalty rewards program or getting the 25% off is just the best way to purchase your oil, so that you're getting stuff for free, you're being rewarded. It's almost like purchasing from your own store, and again, you can replace all the toxins and chemicals that are around the house. Alright, awesome. I'm going to leave it at that, and ask that if you have any questions moving forward, please feel free to give me a shout. Again, this particular deal that I just mentioned actually ends June 30th, so as long as we get everything set up before the end of June, you'll be good to go moving forward. And so I definitely believe that it's just the best way to go about doing it. So give me a shout, and I'm going to post the info right here on the bottom for you to email me. You can check out my website, and you can give me a shout. You can call me. I'm still having classes that are available for you to check out, so you can also check out my website to see when those events are going on. So I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to sit with me and learn a little bit about essential oils and what I'm doing and how I'm using them. And I am so excited to be able to help you on your journey. Know this is a journey, and I know that it's overwhelming. There's a lot of information, and you're just continuing to learn as you go along. So it's another one of those journeys that's super exciting. And overall, it's just going to help to benefit your health and wellness of yourself, as well as the people that are around you. So win, win, win. Thank you again for sticking around and taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much.